Okay, you guys, what is up? This is Arba here today to review Magi Chapter 223. So listen, man, this chapter of Magi, I wasn't feeling it like I've been feeling these other chapters, man. Like, I really was. Because, I mean, like, I understand that, this whole love relationship thing that's going on with Arba and with Sheba and with Solomon. I understand that, that's a big part of it. Because, either one of those two could turn out to be Goku. I understand. But, I mean, like, it's not, I don't really know. But, anyways, let me go through the basics first, and then let me touch the points on the chapter, which I actually have to do talk about because it is kind of important. All right. So obviously, if you can tell this week, no Shonen Jump chapters. The only also the other chapter I'm going to probably review this week is I believe, yeah, Magi, which that's pretty much it. And the rest of this week, I'm trying to catch up to Toriko, meaning I'll be reading Toriko chapters constantly. The anime, I don't really know if I want to watch the anime or not. Again, I'm the anime is I've heard is bad. So basically, this whole entire week, I was reading Toriko chapters. I've been trying to catch up to the series. It was really hard because I have a lot of stuff to do. Guys, school is starting to end for me, and exams are coming up soon. But basically, yeah. So I'll be post. I'll actually be doing 3 discussion videos tomorrow. Which one will be about Magi, one will be about Hunter x Hunter, and one will be about One Piece. Well, it won't be about One Piece. So, Hunter x Hunter, Naruto, no, Hunter x Hunter, Hunter x Hunter, Magi, and One Piece. So those will be my 3 discussion videos. Because I've been doing a lot of Naruto discussion videos lately, and I gotta chill down. Gotta keep those on hold for now. So let's get into basics. Uh, Artwork, pacing, and story progression. Okay, let me do story progression first. Very little, very, very little. Even though at the end of this chapter they said there's going to be a new development next week, the story progression was actually not that big. It really wasn't. So I'm gonna give that okay. It was okay story progression. When it comes to the artwork I'm actually going to give it okay plus because the artwork was really good when it came to that part where Arba was talking about how Sheba will become the pillars for Solomon, how she will help him when he's breaking down, and then Arba will be the pillars that set him straight. And then we see this artwork of this dark angel looking thing and this white light angel looking thing. And of course, we see Solomon in the middle. So I thought the artwork there was fantastic. When it comes to everything else, the artwork was solid. It was alright. So I'm gonna give it an okay plus. And when it comes to, hold on one second. Hold on one second. When it comes to, I need water. When it comes to the pacing was slow, so I'm gonna give that okay plus. So okay plus, okay plus, okay plus. Pretty much overall it was just okay plus okay plus basics. Now let's get into actual chapter. Okay, of course, the entire chapter was mainly focused on Sheba and Arba and Solomon. Basically, point blank, it was pretty much that Sheba is now pretty much, yeah, we already know that she was jealous of Arba, but now she actually explains, well, she tells Arba about how she's been all jealous of Solomon, how Solomon, how they're my best buddies, and, they've been friends for a good minute, a good while. But we see that Solomon, the thing about Solomon that differentiates him, something like that. Like the thing that makes Solomon different from his other comrades is that we find out apparently that he had no brothers or no sisters, and even his father, Elder David, of course, didn't give a shit or a rat's ass about him. And of course, we had an actual special chapter where it explained the reasons why Elder David didn't really give a shit, other than the fact that Solomon and him were destined to fight. If you saw that special chapter, and I didn't do a review of that chapter because it mainly was just packed full of information within 5 pages, and well, 5 or so pages. So I was like, nah, I can't do an actual review, or at least I can't really give my complete thoughts because this is 5 pages. So even though it was a lot of content, but regardless, go read last week's chapter ish. It was a special chapter basically explaining the whole prophecy thing when it comes to Elder David and Solomon. But anyways, so Solomon hasn't had any brothers or sisters. He hasn't had the same relationships that Ethan, Wahid, Aru, all his comrades they've had because they have had brothers and sisters. But Solomon really hasn't had that kind of care for when it comes to relatives. His father didn't care about him, so he didn't really feel like he should care about him. And of course, no brothers and sisters, like I said. But what I can say is that I think that's kind of cool because, like, you think about when you take a look at kids who have no brothers, no sisters, they usually are really they're really insecure. And it's not like well, I'm not saying all of them are, but a lot of them are insecure in the fact that, they don't have anybody to share some stuff with. They can share with their parents, but they might not want to do all the times. And when they see the other kids with children with brothers and sisters and stuff, they feel, all alone. Which of course isn't necessarily the truth, but it does make them feel all alone regardless. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then when it came to the whole Sheba, how Sheba that one night where she had to go sleep, and then Sheba was just lying down with Solomon and Arba, and Sheba was like, oh, let me sleep with you guys. And then we find out apparently that this is what they all do. They all sleep together because not in a sexual way, but they basically just sleep together within the same room with different beds and stuff, and because they want to feel more like a family. And we see Sheba, she's sleeping between Arba and Solomon, so a kind of nice touchy feel moment. Now, when it comes to the part where we find out what Arba is planning for Solomon, what we realize is that Arba is more like a mother to Solomon rather than a love interest, or at least we don't know how Solomon. We know that Solomon and her are best buddies. We know that they feel great with each other, but Arba seems more like a mother to Solomon than rather just a love interest. And so that's why, of course, obviously we see Sheba and Solomon. They're just, they're Sheba's love interest is all Solomon, although it seems one-sided. And when we see Arba, Arba actually tells Sheba, look, Sheba, why don't you become Solomon's wife and help me keep him in check? Now, mind you, at that moment I was like, oh shit, because I was like, damn, because this is basically Arba just saying, be with this man and love him forever and be his ally. And of course, Sheba, she's all like, oh damn, like she's all happy and stuff, but at the same time, she's confused because she figures that Arba wants Solomon, but technically, Arba just likes Solomon as a friend and more like a nurturing mother. And we find out apparently that when it comes to the Orthodox magicians, the nobles actually the nobles actually have servants other than that are supposed to serve them for life. And we found out apparently that Solomon, since he had no friends when he was a child, he was forced a friend as Arba. And of course we all know how Arba trained Solomon in swordsmanship. They did become friends after all. So that's why Arba does care a lot about Solomon, and the fact that she realizes Arba knows that Solomon needs more than just a friend. He needs a wife, an ally, a real best friend to help protect him. And of course, he asks this of Sheba, and Sheba doesn't know how to respond because again, the whole jealousy thing. But she decides to say okay to this, and and then she explains how to Arba that she felt ostracized from Solomon because Solomon doesn't seem to really like her that much, but apparently Solomon likes Arba. I mean, of course, we all know that's not necessarily true because Solomon does like Sheba as a friend, but I mean, this whole love triangle thing is annoying me. But basically, yeah, uh, they vow to each other that Solomon will become the husband of Sheba, and Sheba will keep him in check, along with Arba, Solomon's top servant, and they'll both keep Solomon in check. And at the end of the chapter, is basically our Sheba says, "Hey Solomon, you want to go on a date?" And Solomon's like, "The fuck you talking about?" Like Solomon's like, "What are you talking about? Are you asleep still?" And of course we see Sheba, she looks salty as fuck, and then we see Arba, it's like, "Oh, it's just a work in progress." But basically, that was the chapter. And of course, they mentioned at the bottom next week we'll have a special development chapter. Ooh, I wonder what that is. Hopefully, I don't want it to be another love triangle thing. I just want this arc to go off on a good note. I don't want it to be like a bunch of love chapters when we should also be progressing the story. But anyways, I'm gonna give this chapter a rating of OK plus. It was an OK plus chapter, again, it revealed some interesting things, but at the same time, I was like, nah, I'm not feeling this chapter at all, really. But yeah, so OK plus chapter. Like the video if you like it. Dislike it if you don't. Rate, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys later. I'm Moses Tempa, and I'm out. Peace, guys.